This is Tim Willis. I'm here in the fabulous Ghetto Wiz Studios, and today we're going to have a brief discussion about the differences between ClickFunnels Classic and ClickFunnels 2.0. Of course, both are made by ClickFunnels, and both were developed by Russell Brunson. And so our discussion today is just going to go over some of the major differences between these two, and some points you should consider as to which version you might want to use. And so let's go ahead and go to the video. So this is the main panel of ClickFunnels Classic. It's the original ClickFunnels and sometimes referred to as ClickFunnels 1.0, but the company itself refers to it as ClickFunnels Classic. It's the original ClickFunnels, developed about 2016 by Russell Brunson, and it is pretty much the most popular funnel builder out there. Now, of course, there's other imitators that have come along, like Go High Level and others, but they're all sort of like copying on this to some degree, or taking this as their inspiration. This is the first funnel builder that combined having the page editor, the funnel builder, and the email component all put together. And so nothing is going to happen here with ClickFunnels Classic. According to the company, they plan on keeping it around, and it would be real chaotic if they weren't, because so many people are using it and have their stuff running on it and are happy with what's happening. And so if you want to use ClickFunnels Classic, that's fine. And so let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's go to our funnels, and we're just going to pick one out, and we'll pick out this one here. This is actually just a template I haven't done anything with, but it's fine enough for our explanation here. And so you see we have a working area on the right, and then we have a toolbar on the left. And then if we want to add things, we can add steps to the funnel. You have split testing capability, which if we create a variation here, we'll just create a duplicate of the page. And there we go. We can split test, and we can direct how much traffic is going to each one and see which one performs the best. And that's really all that's going on there. If we go into the editor, going to bring up our page, we can edit whatever we want to edit there. For example, this headline, we could click on settings and edit it. Now my picture frame is covering the bottom of our little toolbar on the right there, but it has all the things we have access to edit that, like color, font size. If we go to advanced, there's some more advanced settings like adding shadow or adding an icon to it. And so that is basically what's going on there. And then there you can put your products in here, and we'll talk to you on the products difference between ClickFunnels Classic and ClickFunnels 2.0 later. You can automate things, you can publish, you can get your stats, you can get your contacts, sales. There's not a whole lot on that level because this was used for certification courses, but you have all that. And then you also have your follow-up funnel component, which is where your contacts, your email list, your broadcasts, and your follow-up funnels, which are your email sequences, live. And again, because this was used for certification purposes, there's not a whole lot here. You have Backpack, which I've never used, but that's to manage your affiliates if you are working with affiliates. And then under here you have your account settings, and where you can do integrations, your payment processors. There's even a section where you can store things like PDFs and downloads and keep them there, and people can download from there. And that is really kind of it for ClickFunnels Classic. It's a great tool. It's many people have had success with it, but it kind of was showing its age somewhat and had some limitations. And instead of just trying to tack on something to that, Russell Brunson and the ClickFunnels team decided they were going to just create something brand new that still had access to the things people loved about ClickFunnels Classic, but expanded on that and turned it into more of a CRM than just a funnel builder. So anyway, that is ClickFunnels Classic. One other note on this before we move on to 2.0 is that if you have ClickFunnels Classic and ClickFunnels 2.0, you will be charged for each one individually. So if you want to have both, then you're going to have a double charge. There is a middle ground between that, which is called maintenance mode, where you can keep everything you built up in ClickFunnels Classic. You won't be able to add anything new, but you'll be able to keep and edit everything you've had or done and still access that, but you'll only be paying for 2.0. The catch on that is that if you do want to reactivate ClickFunnels Classic out of maintenance mode, that is going to be a charge of $297 a month, because that's the only payment option after that point. So before you go into maintenance mode, if you have one of the lower versions like the $97 version, you might want to consider that. But anyway, that is kind of the overview on ClickFunnels Classic. Okay, so this is ClickFunnels 2.0, and what you're seeing is the main home page of that, or the opening page, whatever you want to call it. And you see we have a similar layout. We have a work area to the right and a toolbar on the left. We see we have a lot of icons here because they've added a lot more functionality to that. Where 2.0 is more of a CRM than just a funnel builder. So right now we're in the dashboard, and it's got a bunch of information here. We've got some templates here we can use. We've got links to going to other places. And this was just recently redesigned, by the way. Got our recent activity, our broadcast, blog post, training, and all that. Now, in ClickFunnels 2.0, you have what are called sites. And a site is attached to a workspace. And the idea is that the workspace has a brand website, which they call Funnel Hub. And we're looking at that here. This one isn't set up for this workspace. So it's basically your brand website, and then so that's where you'll tie in your blog and all that sort of stuff. You can see we have a blog and all that, and then that's kind of that. And then you still have your funnels, which can be attached to a funnel hub, or they can be individual, and you can have as many as you want here. This workspace is basically just used for random projects I work on. As a certified funnel builder in the funnel builder program, I have access to more workspaces than most people. That's just part of the package that I get, which I did pay for. And so once you get out of that, you can see that we have other things like our pages, which they have different categories, and we'll do another separate video on that, and our courses and our domains and all that. Next, we have our products. Now here's where we get a different situation than ClickFunnels Classic. In ClickFunnels Classic, each product had to be tied to an individual funnel. So even if you say, I had this secret sales strategy book and I wanted to put in a funnel, ClickFunnels Classic, and then I wanted to also offer it on another funnel, I would have to set it up as a product in each funnel individually. Here in ClickFunnels 2.0, we're just able to set it up once in our product section, and then we can link it to as many funnels as we want. So it's a really convenient thing. Then we have our orders. So this will show you any orders you've gotten. As I've only been using this workspace for certification purposes, there's no orders, but if you did have any, you would see them here. And then we have our contacts. This is where you're going to have all your contacts that you have, email contacts you have, and that will show up here. Below that, we have analytics. Again, since this is for certification, the analytics aren't much because we're not actually making real sales, but it'll show us our opt-ins and all that sort of stuff in our analytics. And it's a lot more advanced analytics than was available in ClickFunnels Classic. Then we have our marketing section, which is basically like the follow-up funnel section in ClickFunnels Classic. This is where we set up our email workflows, or email sequences if you want to call them that. And we're able to set up those email sequences, whether it's a follow-up email, whether it's an abandoned cart email sequence or whatever. and set up as many as we want in here for as many different funnels as we want. And so that is what that is. Then we have our sales section, which will show your sales, and also you got a new feature called pipelines, which I haven't played with much, but it's going to be something that's going to be in there, and where you can look at your sales and look at the pipeline you have. I don't want to get too much into the weeds on any of this stuff right now. This is just a general overview of what's here. And then you have the Message Hub, which is a new thing that was just released a couple months ago. And this is going to be where you can work with your customers. You can contact them by email, SMS, and it's also going to be able to use as a work desk. Now, I haven't messed with the Message Hub yet, and so I don't want to get too far in the weeds on that, but just know that you have that available. And then you have settings icons down here, which is for various settings you have. You have your billing, your collaborations, your location, shipping, addresses, your assets. Now the assets is kind of something that they had in ClickFunnels Classic, but it's much expanded here. And so here you can actually have your images, your course videos, if you do courses, your downloads for just things you want to be able people to download. You can also have audio files. That's generally going to be related to courses. And you can import fonts from whoever. Google Fonts generally be the one. You can import that. Just a word of warning, because I did play with that some. You might want to be fairly conservative in importing fonts, because you've already got a lot of fonts in ClickFunnels 2.0. And it's a little messy at times on that. But you can add as many fonts as you want, and that's easy to do. Now the other thing we need to talk about here is this section here, which is Payments AI. And Payments AI really needs to have its own video, but in short, what Payments AI is a service that's hooked up with ClickFunnels, and it allows you to get your payments, and it also allows you to split payments over multiple payment processors. So in ClickFunnels Classic, you would set up your Stripe account or your PayPal account or whatever, and you could make multiple accounts, but you had to kind of just pick one that was going to be for that particular funnel, that product. With Payments AI, you can actually spread payments over multiple platforms, and that has the advantage of if one shuts you down, you can go to another, or you can split the payments between the two, so maybe they won't shut you down. Now PayPal is notorious for shutting down accounts that start having good sales, and they call it on the basis of unusual activity. Stripe doesn't seem as bad, but anyway, even if you just still want to use Stripe, you're still going to have to set up Payments AI and then connect that through Payments AI. So that is something that's a little bit, to me, a pain, but it's actually gotten better over the past year. Payments AI used to be real troublesome to set up. Now it's not so troublesome. I think they've worked out the bugs. But anyway, just know if you want to take payments, you are going to have to go to Payments AI. And that is kind of here. And then we have all sorts of other stuff we can look at. But as a general overview, which is all we're interested in here, that's what we are doing with ClickFunnels 2.0. It's much expanded from ClickFunnels Classic. It's keeps the best part in ClickFunnels Classic, but it expands it, and it is based on a totally different code than ClickFunnels Classic, which is why there are two versions. As far as which one you should use, that's going to be a personal judgment. What I would say, just as an opinion, if you're using ClickFunnels Classic and you have funnels running and you're happy with them, you could stay with ClickFunnels Classic, or you could sign up for 2.0 and put ClickFunnels Classic in maintenance mode. You wouldn't lose anything. You'd still be able to edit the funnels you have, but you wouldn't be able to create anything new. Now, if it's the case of you're brand new to ClickFunnels and you don't know which one to pick, I would recommend that you just go ahead and go with 2.0. It has more features, and there's going to be more features coming, and you'll still be able to do all the things you would have been able to do in ClickFunnels Classic, plus a lot more things. It's really up to you which version you want to go with, but if you're brand new to the ClickFunnels, there's no reason not to have the most current version. It's going to give you the most options and the most tools. Just move forward like that. Anyway, that is our little video outlining the differences between ClickFunnels Classic and ClickFunnels 2.0. It was not meant to go into detail. It's supposed to be just a brief overview, and that is the video for today. So this is Tim Willis with ClickFunnels and Click Designs, and I will talk to you folks later. Bye.